Meine Herren, the target for today is a supply depot in Staronizhny Steblievskaya. Each aircraft will carry 8 250-kilogram general-purpose bombs to effect the destruction of this target. Fighter escort Bf-109s from JG-52 will meet us at waypoint 2 over Zaporozhskaya airfield. From there, they will escort us to and from the target. Flak is anticipated over the front line and over the target. The route of flight takes us over the bases of 2 Soviet fighter regiments equipped with Yak-1Bs, and within range of numerous others. We expect heavy fighter strength near the target. The run-up to the target will be flown on a track of 090 degrees. The formation will bomb from an altitude of 3,500 meters. The target itself is co-located with the railway station in the southeast corner of the town on the bend of the river. The town, river, railway, road intersections, and lake to the north should be plainly visible. That's all. Good luck. Welcome back aboard my HE-111 for the second mission of this 111 career. I'll quickly get the aircraft configured for takeoff, and then we shall roll. I'll pop the backlights on the instruments. Open the radiators to 75%, I think will be adequate for our current outside temperature. Close down the water rads a little bit. Set flaps to 10 degrees, a little more than 10. Flaps 10 degrees, and I think everyone's ready to go. Punch it. Set takeoff power. Accelerating a little bit sluggishly, but that's to be expected. The 111 is, well, it's like that. Anyway, airspeed's alive. 50. 100. You know what? I might need flap 15 for this. We're a little heavier this time because I did bring more fuel, even though the target's closer. Just so that there's more to leak out if we take a hit. Gear up. And level off and accelerate. And flaps up. Should be good. And set climb power. There we go. And I'll fly runway heading for just a little bit, and then turn on course, and everyone should be able to get formed up in and shortly after that turn, and we'll head for the target. Well, checking in again, that is Zaporozhskaya airfield down there, which is where our fighter escort, well, the point at least where they're supposed to meet us. I'm not sure if it's where they're actually taking off from. And we are about to level off at our desired bombing altitude of 3,500 meters. Once we do level off, I'll do a little drift correction for the leg to the target, and we'll be on our way. We also... Okay, those are reporting in combat sector. Those will be our fighters, wherever they are. I imagine we'll spot them soon enough. And once I've got that drift correction, and once we're level, I'll slow down a little bit because a few of our flight members have been straggling very slightly. So just slowing down flight amount should enable them to catch up in a fairly short space of time, which is important because our target isn't that far behind the front line today. We do still have a ways to go, but it's not super far. Anyway, that looks like a fighter down there, presumably one of ours. Now, the track from this point to the target is 090. I think our, well, the wind is from the west-southwest or thereabouts, so I'll angle a few degrees into it until we've done our actual drift calculation after we level off. But we shouldn't have to correct massively. The wind is pretty light compared to the previous mission. Okay, coming up on 3,500 meters. That'll do. Level off. Okay, ooh, up slightly. And we do attitude, power, back to max continuous for now. And trim. Whoop. Slightly nose down there. And I'll just engage the level autopilot, and we'll go down into the bomb site to do our drift correction. So, airspeed's probably going to get up to at least 280, but I'll recheck that once we actually get up to speed. Altitude, per the site, is 3,600 meters. I tend to take this altimeter as supreme over the one in the cockpit. Now the wind will take basically the halfway factor of the two figures that we've got here. So 255, 246. We'll average that out to 250, and I'll take 7 meters per second as the wind velocity. So track of 090, 250. Yeah, wind is from that way, which gives us a drift of approximately 2 degrees to port, so we'll correct 2 degrees to starboard, which gives us a corrected heading of 092. Now, landmark. And airspeed's already coming up a bit. That might reduce our drift factor somewhat. Yeah. Well, I'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, corrected in the view mode. We don't have a ton of navigational checkpoints until we make landfall again, and then we'll be going by the shapes of these various lakes, and then these towns as we approach the target. So that's pretty much the navigation situation squared away. I will come back as we near the target, most likely. Checking in again. We have crossed the front line. We're approximately here. My next navigation checkpoint is the one where we cross this river here. After that, we'll have Krasnoarmeyskaya, which will be our initial point, and then on to the target, so not too far now. So you can see this bend in the river here, then a straight section, curves, another bend, and this little sort of pond beyond it here, maybe lake. And that's pretty plainly visible in the site. We've got the bend, curve, and the lake. So we're still perfectly on track. Now we've got another curve in the river beyond that, actually. And that should be in the town here. And we're set to cross just inside this bend in it. So correcting very slightly onto that. And we should be pretty precisely on track for the run up to the target. No enemy fighters sighted as of yet, but I'll be very surprised if we get away with this one without seeing any. Righty, righty. This town down here is Staroarmeyskaya. This is the initial point. So the target is just up ahead beyond this bend in the river, which is now plainly visible in the bomb site, which we will now get configured. So I'll drop on a 0.10 second interval. At least I'll pop that in preliminarily. I may turn it up to a longer one if the target's looking particularly linear. And we will drop all bombs. Airspeed, currently 290. I expect that to drop a little bit when we open the bomb bay doors. Probably to around 280, maybe 270. I have slowed down very slightly so that one straggling aircraft could regain formation, but we've still got a fairly decent turn of speed on, at least by 111 standards. If I were flying a JU-88, I'd be leaving us in the dust, but anyhow. Close the water radiator down since the temperature is slightly below optimal, so if we can close it down a little bit and get slightly more speed. Bomb bay doors are coming open so that we can do that airspeed correction shortly. And this looks like the target here at the far end of the railway station. At least that's what it looks like from the map. So we will align on that, recheck altitude and airspeed. Airspeed seems to be creeping back towards 280. Recheck drift factor. That still looks about right. Make sure we're aligned. And yeah, looking at the map, it looks like our target is mainly the far end of the railway station, is where the depot is considered to be, so this cluster of buildings, I think. So I'll make that my aiming point. And we shall focus on it. I think the bomb pattern from the entire formation should spread out across that pretty nicely. So airspeed, still closer to 290, but creeping back. I'm actually going to open up the water radiators again to put a little more drag on just to get to a round number in terms of speed, just to ensure greater bombing accuracy. Coming up, target is very positively identified, so that's all good. And I'm just going to aim for pretty much right in the center of it, should get the formation's pattern right on target. Recheck speed, now closer to 280, so that's fine. Recheck wind, drift factor, speed, altitude. It's good to just double check everything a couple of times if you have the time, which we do, at least for now. Okay, coming slightly to port. There we go. I'm going to drop my bombs on a 0.25 interval, because the target looks long enough to do that. The formations generally do 0.10 as standard though, so we're just going to have to live with that. But that's okay. Alright, everything's looking good near as I can tell. Yeah, no complaints. Sekunden. Los! Bombs are away. Presumably the rest of the formations are as well. And we shall observe. Assigned objective completed, but it's considered completed just if you drop your bombs in anywhere near the target. So not really surprising. I see some muzzle flashes down there, so some flak coming up at us. Bombs coming down. Well, it didn't destroy the entirety of the target, but that's down to really more game limitations than anything, so I'm not going to complain too much. Our bombs were pretty much centered around a good mean point of impact, so nothing really to complain about there. So to make our way out, our track is 285, and we'll correct about 2 degrees to port for that, so our corrected heading will be 283. That is a Soviet fighter base down there. Do we see any airplanes on it at all that might be coming up angrily like a swarm of bees to pluck us out of the sky for what we've just done? Can't say I see any. Well, that's just as well. I do still fully expect to encounter them, though. I don't think we're going to get away scot-free a second time. So, heading of 283. There we go. Level off. Maintaining 3,500 meters. And, yeah, drift correction will be roughly 2 degrees to starboard. Well, drift factor is 2 degrees to starboard, correction is 2 degrees to port. Upon a rewatch of the previous episode, I sort of stumbled on my words about that last time, which is easy to do when you're recording something. Okay, I can see these lakes up here, which we want to actually pass to the left of to regain track. So to be expected that we'll be slightly right of it since we made a wide left turn. Where's that fork in the river? Okay, we want to pass over the sort of bendy bit just north of there. Not that it really matters where we cross the coast on our way back, but I'm just trying not to be sloppy. I deliberately neglected... That's not the word I'm looking for. I deliberately took us a little bit north for the egress, because as the squadron commander, I can move these waypoints around in the mission planning phase, just to keep us away from the highest density area of Soviet fighter bases, which are down here around Krasnodar. Might do no good at all, but you never know. Anyway, I'll come back if there's anything interesting to report. Okay, our fighters just called out that they're engaging an enemy fighter to the east, so presumably dead astern of us. Let's hop up on the top turret and see if we can see anything. There are 109s peeling off. And 2 aircraft further astern that might not be ours. I'll keep my eyes open there. I might stay up on the gunner's position to keep apprised of the situation. The only thing we need to do is when we cross the coast, turn left to a heading, oh my, to a heading of 260, but that is very much a secondary priority right now. Okay, yeah, that nose section, that looks like an LA-5. Gunners are engaging. I'll engage too and try not to shoot my tail off. Gun's overheating. I'll try and fire in shorter bursts. Rounds are going a bit low, I think. Okay, he's peeling off and the ventral gunner's engaging him. We've also got 2 fighters behind him. Yeah, 3 in fact, 3 109s pursuing him, I think. So that's all well and good. And fighters are calling out target destroyed. Looks like he's going down. Okay, 2 more 109s there. So that's just fine. Engaging fighter 6 kilometers to the east. Okay, that's a little further away and less of an immediate concern. So I'll come back to worrying just a little bit about navigation. What's down here? Okay. We're over these little puddles here now, which means we're very, very slightly left of track, but not enough for it to matter. So in just a minute or two, I'll pick up a heading of 260, but I'm just going to hop back up into the turret here and see if I can spot anything. No, I think those are still 109s over us, so I think we're probably okay for now. And my waypoint's right on the coastline, so I will wait just a little bit longer to turn. And that will be all. Well, it won't be all, but it will be the last major navigation item I need to see to for a little while. Then we'll be aiming to sort of cross over the Kerch Strait pretty much at its narrowest point, and then on our way home. That's all very easy to navigate over. The terrain super recognizable, so just using the level autopilot here, I'll come gently left and pick up a heading of 260, and we'll head home. Who's this? Also looks like a 109, so I think our fighters have probably seen to the enemy, he says. We'll have to see about that for sure, but yeah. Gunner, 4th gunner, I don't know which one that is, just called out a fighter engaging. I don't know where from, though. So let's get... oh boy. That's another LA-5. And I need to be very careful up to... ah! I was about to say shoot my own tail off here. Crikey, he's coming for me. Okay, I need to go evasive. At least a little bit. Oh, someone just called out target destroyed. Someone must have hit him. Okay, level off. That's okay then. Where'd he go? Okay, well, I presume he went down, but I don't see anything descending here. Let's grab this ventral turret and see if there's anything spinning towards the sea below us. Not that I can see, actually. Well, in any case, I think we're probably okay, as long as I didn't damage the rudder too severely. Yeah, should be okay. Welcome back. We're just passing over the town of Bagierova. Um, Longtime viewers who watched the A20 series back in the day may recall that in the final episode we bombed this railway station down here. Anyway, that's basically the last navigation checkpoint on the way into Zamorsk, which is just coming into view through the clouds over there. I will now, I think, give my formation the order to return to base. Should be breaking off to do so. Yeah, they'll go off and join the circuit and probably collide and kill themselves. And we'll pretty much just make straight in and land. The winds are from the west, so we can just come straight in this way probably. Speed is coming back through to 50, gear down. Gear down to green. Set flaps 40. Flaps 40 set, lights on. And I'll maintain maybe about 200 on the approach, letting it creep back a little bit as we come over the threshold. We're still pretty heavy because we did take a lot more fuel this time. Oh, please, none of you buggers fly up my backside. Mark my words, I reckon there's a 50% chance that when I die in this campaign, it will be because of some damned foolish thing in the landing pattern. But we'll have to see. Certainly if these lot all just join hands and run merrily into each other, we may take undue losses on this trip as well. Anyway, I shan't pay any attention to them for the time being, as long as they're not going to run into me. And we will just land. I've got prop forward in case we need to do a go around. Radiators, I'll crack them open just a little bit because the engines will warm up quickly once we're down and stopped. And over the field, I will try and land a little more smoothly than last time, but no guarantees whatsoever. Okay, get her on the runway. Okay. Okay, we're down with only a slight bounce. Get on the brakes, flaps all the way down so that we can decelerate. And I'll just roll all the way to the end here and shut down. Probably be fine. Okay, we're nicely decelerated. Flaps up. Clear the runway. Lights off. Oh my goodness, guys. Why do you have to turn so sharply? You're gonna give me a heart attack. Please don't collide. Please don't collide. Okay, well, now that we're clear of the runway, I'm just going to stop and shut down before any of these Muppets can do anything silly. Landing successful, that is all well and good. Oh, geez, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? Don't mind if I do. Anyway, we'll finish the mission and have a wee look at what the outcome is. So, I personally destroyed 1 station facility and 3 facilities, whatever that means. Lots of buildings at the station, basically. All objectives were accomplished. So, let's see what becomes of this whole thing. Chuggity chug chug chug. Right, I'm gonna go to the planning room to see how this thing shook out. So bomb artillery, that's our next mission. Bomb supply dump. In total, we knocked down 1 aircraft, which was officially credited to one of my gunners anyway, so we'll call that credited to me. Destroyed 6 station facilities and 7 facilities again, so lots of buildings knocked down. I did actually pool all of our 111 H-16s for this mission so that we'd be able to put more bombs on target. I won't guarantee we'll always be able to do that. The squadron also has plenty of H6s in inventory, so if we run down the supply of H16s, we'll have to dip into the older machines, but oh well. Anyway, as you can see above, our next mission is basically flying counter-battery work. We'll be flying basically just to the front line to hit some enemy artillery positions. So that should be a relatively short trip, and I'll be back with it at some point in the fairly near future. Toodles.